Hello everyone. A couple of days ago there was an episode of Piers Morgan Uncensored that I thought might stand as one of the greatest train wreck panel discussions of all time, and our main protagonist and reason it was such a train wreck was the presence of Democratic Party lockstep 22-year-old or thereabouts TikToker Harry Sisson, or the preferred pronoun I use for him, Sissy Boy. When the slights against each other start in these kinds of panel discussions, I really try to watch the video closely to see who it actually was that threw out the first ad hominem attacks and or name calling. And sorry Harry, it was you buddy, and that's going to become relevant to a claim you're going to make further down the track.
Biden himself just told endless porkies about stuff like preemptive pardons.
It's interesting, Piers, that you're arguing for the view that somebody's opinion on something can't change if circumstances change. So when President Biden made that claim, there was no threat toward Donald Trump or his family. And look at these guys, these losers laughing over here. But with Donald Trump appointing Kash Patel to the FBI, who said he wants to go, excuse me, be quiet.
That's it right there. All nice and respectful until Harry calls Ben Ferguson and Dave Rubin losers. But seriously, dude, you're the Democrat. The Dems get crushed, and you call them losers? Makes perfect sense, Harry. Not. If you're watching this video and you're unaware of who Sissy Boy is and his track record as a political commentator, Piers actually lays it out succinctly.
But Harry says, and I can see you grimacing and pulling all sorts of faces there. And look, you've been...
Good to see you too, Piers.
Great to see you. Always good to have you on Uncensored, even though you've been wrong spectacularly about almost every single thing you've said in the last calendar year. But we'll gloss over that. As Cornell would say, I forgive you, my brother. That's fine. For just being so wrong the entire time.
And that in itself pretty much begs the question, if that's the case, which it is, what is he doing there? Why do you continue to have him on? Is it just to create a massive argument for clicks? It seems to me that a post-pubescent Democrat loyalist whose unyielding devotion to the cult leads him to catastrophically incorrect political predictions and provably false ideological views doesn't have anything of actual value to contribute. So again, Piers, what the hell is he doing there? Wait, I know. He's trying to see if he can get himself sued for defamation. You know, emulating George Snuffleupagus.
You must have been sweating away because your whole power base on that platform was about to disappear. And then the Lone Ranger arrives to save the day, Donald Trump. Do you want to take this opportunity to thank President Trump for so far saving TikTok for you, therefore personally enriching you?
Yeah, so I've said previously that if Donald Trump or anybody, any politician, saves TikTok and prevents it from a ban, I'll give them credit that they deserve. But I also think it's important to point out. Yeah, I mean, I'm not absolved of that.
So do you want to say thank you, Donald, at this stage or not?
Oh no, I wouldn't never thank a sexual abuser for anything. I don't think.
Ooh, you should be careful with your mouth there, Harry. Just because freedom of speech is back doesn't mean that defamation is going to disappear. Anyway, now we get to the half hilarious yet half pathetic part. Harry getting utterly hammered on the topic that reality dictates the left are ultimately never going to win on.
Do you think there should be more than two genders in America?
Yeah, I don't know what that executive order means. I don't know what the president declared.
It means there are two genders, male and female. Do you disagree with that?
But how many genders are there, Harry?
Yeah,
come on, little guy. How many genders are there?
Again, these guys don't know what they're talking about, so they won't be able to answer.
How many genders are there?
How many genders are there, Harry?
How many genders are there?
What's the legal? I'm gonna use Joe Biden's answers. At least two. At least two. That satisfies.
Well, how many more other than male, female?
That's a TikTok answer.
No, there's at least two.
Yeah.
There's at least two.
Well, no, hang on. There's male and female.
Kid is like human brain
Donald
rot.
Trump says there's male and female. There are two.
Okay, Dave.
How many more are there after male and female, Harry?
There's at least two. Now, anyway, let me get back to
what
what
How many more are there?
What are the other ones?
There's at least two.
What are the other ones?
Harry, let's try it this way. You're a female. What is the other gender?
It's so funny. It's so funny how these...
I guess it's easy to look at what's going on here and see Harry as being cornered here in his bogus ideology and merely spewing out what sounds like the scripted answer from the Gender Ideologue's Handbook. What I see is the over 2,000 years since Socrates, and Sissy Boy here can't even pass the first hurdle of Socratic reasoning, insomuch as that the veracity of an answer to a question is tested by asking further questions of the answer. to find which possible conclusion is possibly not the most correct, but the least incorrect perhaps. In this instance, the question being, how many genders are there, and the answer being at least 2. If you then can't define or even estimate how many more, or even name one of what those additional genders are when questioned further in such a natural and logical way, Harry and his imaginary stallion Sissy Wings fall at that very first hurdle, and everything you hear from that point onwards is just Harry making a complete fool of himself.
It's so funny how these conservatives just get time to lie on this show, but when I'm speaking, they all interrupt and there's no problem.
Question.
You've just been asked a very simple question, Harry.
Conversation with Piers, not you, Mr. Como. Relax for me.
Harry,
Take a
you
breather.
simply
Thank
got
you so
asked
much.
if there are at least 2 genders, how many more are there than male and female?
Piers, you asked me about Donald Trump's executive order. I'm trying to explain how legally it makes absolutely no sense and it's going to get sued in court. Then we go into culture wars with Dave Rubin and this Ferguson guy asking how many genders are there. I'm trying to answer your question. They're screaming their faces off about issues that don't fucking matter.
I'm asking you.
Oh, God, this child.
And Piers,
I'm asking you, Harry.
Piers.
That's just so spot on from Dave Rubin there. Oh God, this child. He's the kid who's trying to find a way to claim that he didn't eat the cake with chocolate all over his face.
How many genders
And I'm
are
answering
there?
your question.
Harry.
Piers, I've answered your question.
Harry, how
There
many
are
genders
at
are
least
there?
2. There are at least 2.
2 or at least 2?
Are there 100?
Hang on,
Are there
Ben.
100?
Hang on, Ben. I've got
More
this.
or less than 100?
Can I answer the question?
Yes,
for
Cornell.
Brother Harry?
Answer the question.
Can I answer the question
Yes.
for Brother Harry? Because
7?
Brother Harry trying
Yes,
to hold
help
on.
him out, Cornell.
Please don't.
That according to Shakespeare, all of us are androgynous. There are men and there are women. There are different sides of human beings, all made in.
Trust me, everything this maniac said throughout this discussion was on par with what you just heard in regard to its disconnect from what the rest of us would call sanity. I mean, seriously, I had to freeze this frame to show the 2 distinct reactions from Piers and Dave. What does it say about the veracity of what this Cornell is saying when Dave's head drops into his hands in total what the fuck, and Piers is simply pissing himself laughing at how preposterous the old coot sounds? Anyway, I've saved you from anything else he had to say, so moving forward.
Can we get back to the executive orders I disagree with by any chance?
Yeah, sure. But what about that one, about the 2 genders?
Yeah.
I can't work out.
The 2 genders. Let's go back to that.
Well, hang on. I can't work out whether you agree or disagree. Donald Trump says specifically, Harry, there are 2 genders, male and female. That's it. You think there are at least 2, which normally means there are more than 2.
It's as simple as that.
they
That's
pay
why you
TikTok
can't tell
for
you
automatic
how many
commentators.
genders there
Russia
are.
pays conservative commentators.
All right, let me ask
Never been
Cornell. I
paid
want to
by
bring
Russia
Cornell
pays.
back.
Yes,
I want to
Russia
bring
pays.
Cornell back.
Okay.
This program was almost an hour long, and I'm fairly confident that half of it was 4 people all speaking over each other at once. Now we come to the part I mentioned near the beginning of the video, where I said that Harry would later make a claim, and where I pointed out the importance of remembering who was guilty of doing this particular thing first.
Harry perfectly exemplifies everything wrong with the modern left and the Democrat Party. He can't tell you how many genders there are, and then all he can do is hurl insults. That's exactly what the Democrats and the
Weren't you
media
just calling me a
machine
child earlier?
has done. For you are a child.
Is the
That's not an
hypocrisy
insult.
not
You're a child.
astounding?
How old are you?
Is
12?
the hypocrisy not
Anyway,
astounding? Do you feel no shame when you say something like that?
And again, there it is. The video evidence is there for anyone to see who's prepared to check for themselves that he was the first to name call. Yet there he is trying to flip it, making out like Dave was the first by calling him a child, and then crying hypocrisy over the falsity that he's attempting to perpetuate. Anyway, the final part I wanted to play was just Dave and Ben's remarks about Harry and his whole delusional existence.
Anyway, I also want to point out that Joe
Piers, you gotta
Biden
stop
laid
putting
the
this clown
foundation
on,
for.
honestly.
Yeah, you know, Piers, it's
You're
remarkable that
such
you
an
let somebody who took
embarrassment.
Russian
You're
money
why-
on your
dude,
show.
you're
Why would you let somebody who
you're
took
why
Russian money
people
on your
like
show?
Tulsi
It's
and
disgraceful.
RFK are no
It's
longer
disgraceful.
Democrats.
It's
You
disgraceful
really
that people
are.
with Russian money funneling to their. Anyway, let me finish, Dave. Would you just be quiet, please? Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you for being obedient.
Unbearable.
Joe Biden laid the foundation for
Unrepairable.
TikTok to stay alive in the United States.
Yeah, first, Piers, let me apologize to you and your audience for my choice language there. I'm happy to come
We're
on
called
your show.
uncensored. There's no problem.
Yeah, no, I know. I'm happy to come on your show and debate any leftist or any of these people anytime. I will never come on with this child again. This is
Cry more,
utterly
Dave.
fruitless and pointless.
Just cry
put
more,
that
man.
aside.
Just cry
Dude,
more.
grow up. Okay.
You're a
as
grown
for
man. Just
Melania,
cry
yeah,
more, buddy.
I think
Well, thank you
she
for
was
saying
actually.
that, Dave. I appreciate it.
Finally, if you did go and watch the original on Pierce's channel, make sure you check out the comments. Almost every comment is about how insufferable Harry is, and pleading with Pierce to never have him back on the show again. Well, it's pretty unanimous. Of course, I wouldn't want Harry deplatformed. I'm just confused as to why he even has one in the first place. I wonder if his TikTok followers are true fans, or just people there to watch the train wreck occur.